As a young woman who's found herself with an unplanned pregnancy, you've probably spent a lot of time considering the options available for you and your child's future. You know that you can choose to parent the baby. That's the obvious choice. You may have also thought about terminating the pregnancy, although not everyone considers abortion as a viable alternative. Adoption is another option available for you that not everyone thinks of. Adoption is certainly not the easiest choice to make, but one that should be considered. At Kirsh Kirsh, we can tell you everything you need to know about adoption. We've been doing this for more than 20 years and have been involved in more than 2,500 successful adoptions.
Originally, I wasn't considering adoption. Abortion was never an option for me, so I just assumed I would parent. I was 20 years old and it just kind of got a little depressing for me, realizing that I was going to have to live in low-income housing, probably work 2 jobs, and I came to the conclusion that, without a college degree, there was no way I was going to be able to afford to live the kind of life I wanted to and to provide for the child the way I wanted to at that point in my life. So that's when adoption started to become a consideration.
The topic just sort of came up, and then as I started thinking about it a little bit more, it seemed reasonable to at least explore the possibility and what that might be like, and would that be something that I would consider as opposed to parenting the baby by myself.
I was unmarried in a relationship that I was confident would not be long-term, and found myself in the position to look for something much, much better for a child. And I felt that the choices that I had made that put me in that position weren't something that the child should have to pay for in the long run.
We know that making an adoption plan for your baby may be the most difficult yet rewarding decision you may face. Remember that a hard decision is not necessarily a bad decision. Let me say that again. A hard decision is not necessarily a bad decision. Adoption is a loving, courageous, and unselfish choice for a woman who finds herself unexpectedly pregnant and uncertain about the lifelong commitment of parenthood. If you feel that you want more for your baby than you can provide at this time in your life, an adoption plan may be a good choice.
It was really clear then that at that time that I was on my own, and that since I was going to continue this pregnancy, that I was going to have to do everything completely by myself.
There were many times where I just went over in my head, how in the world could I make this happen? How could I parent this child? And of course all those offers were shooting at me left and right from family and friends. Well, we can help you with this and that. And it just, it was so, for the moment, it was good enough for the moment, but I had to really look at the long run.
In order to proceed with an adoption, you have to be able to put your child's needs above your own. Some women are not able to fathom the thought of saying goodbye to their baby at the hospital, but you owe it to yourself and your unborn child to at least explore all of your options before making a decision. Asking for information about adoption will never obligate you to proceed with one.
Towards the end of my pregnancy, I realized that it wasn't all monetary. I really wasn't ready to be a mom. I really didn't have the maturity or the capacity to do it, and there were people out there who did, and I felt that my son would be much better off with someone who is ready to be a parent.
It takes much more than just wanting to be a parent, and I had all the desire in the world and I had all the love that I needed to have. I just didn't have the maturity, and it was maturity. I just didn't have it. I knew that I would not be able to come home at the end of a long day and be the kind of mom that I am now. And also, I think it was really hard for people to understand that I really wanted the baby to have 2 parents. I wanted him to have a dad. I wanted him to have, this stable, happy environment, and that wasn't going to be with me.
My brother Joel and I are attorneys who practice exclusively in the area of private adoption. Our goal is to be responsive to the needs of the birth mother, the adoptive family, and the baby so that the process is a positive experience for all. We are not judgmental, nor will we try to pressure you. We realize that your circumstances are difficult enough. We want to make the process easier rather than more difficult for you.
It's the best decision I've ever made. It's really shaped me, my character, in ways that I never imagined, and that I'm very fond of now. I have a really hard time judging women who find themselves in that situation. Really difficult time. I've learned to have a great deal more compassion and a lot more faith. My course of healing is just reaching out to other birth mothers and helping them.
If you have any questions about an adoption plan for your baby, please pick up the phone and call us at any time, toll-free at 1-800-333-5736.